And the last category of irregular adjectives, the third category, are those you just need to memorize. They don't follow particular rules. It's like in English, the adjective good, it's irregular. We don't say good, good, or goodest, or we better not. We say good, better, best. And notice the Latin word for good, bonus, bonus, melior, optimus. So here we have a list. There are just a few of them in Latin. Now, one thing that is going to help you remember the forms is that we get derivatives from the comparative and the superlative forms as well as the positive. For instance, bonus, melior, optimus. Obviously, optimus, we get a lot of derivatives. Optimum, optimal, the best of something. Melior, we do get the word ameliorate, which means to make something better. So that should help us remember that. Magnus, major, maximus. Remember that the I, the consonantal I, turns into a J in English. So major, majority, comes from major. Obviously, maximus, maximum, maximal, maxi, all the maxi words. Now for bad, in English, bad, worst, worst, it's irregular. Malus, pior, pessimus. And you'll remember pessimus because a pessimist is somebody who always expects the worst. For pior, and again, remember that I turns into a J, there's the word pejorative. And in English, we generally just use this to refer to words. Pejorative terms are either bad words or insulting words. But that is a word that we use in English. Multus, plus, plurimus. Again, plurimus, things like we get plural. If you take a look at the comparative, the word plus. 1 plus 2 is 1 more 2, right? 1 and 2 more. And that's where our word plus comes from. And plus is kind of weird because the comparative degree is actually not an adjective. It's a neuter noun. And later on, we'll talk about how to decline it. Notice the genitive is plurus, so the stem is plur, like as in plural, right? But anyway, so think of plus and plural, and that should help you out with multus for the comparative and superlative. Parvis, small. Minor, minus, minimus. Notice, by the way, the neuter comparative, the nominative always ends in US. There's our minus, right? Either minor, minority, but also minus, because 2 minus 1 is 2 less, or 2 minus 1 rather, 2 less 1. So there is that. Now, for prior and primus, there really isn't a positive degree because something that happened earlier, prior, is, well, already it assumes a positive, right? It's already, there's an assumed comparison. Anyway, we get the word prior from this. Your prior experience is your experience before, your former experience, your earlier experience. And primus is really this really should be first. This is in your Wheelock book, they say for, but primus is first. The firstest, if we could say that in English, right, would be primus, the very first, very former. And finally, superus, which means above. Superior is higher, and we use that word in English all the time, superior. It's a loan word in English, in superiority and all those other things. And two different ways of saying highest. Sumus, rather, is highest in terms of, again, elevation. Like this, we get the word summit. The summit of a mountain from this is sumus. Supremus is highest in rank. Like some of the supreme leaders, the highest leader, can also mean last, the final, right? So there are irregular adjectives. And again, the best way to remember these forms is to think of English derivatives.